Okay, come on. Stroke 3, check right, brake right. Stroke 3, brake right.
Sam!
Missile on you, Pairs. Coming in. Evade. 3 seconds to impact.
Stroke 3, defending, goes!
Another one.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
Good luck.
Alpha! Negative contact. Second one, please. That's good.
Good. Another one.
Oh my god! Triple A.
Start, somebody's in target area! Stroke 3, egressing southeast!
That was some of the wildest flying that I've ever done. Holy crap, bro. Are you guys familiar with the legendary story of Stroke 3, the F-16 that escaped death after dodging 6 surface-to-air missiles in Desert Storm? The F-16 in question was piloted by Major Emmett Tulia II, and he managed to dodge all 6 missiles by simply maneuvering. At the time of the incident, his aircraft's countermeasures were malfunctioning, and so he was unable to deploy any chaff or flares. This means that he simply drove the hell out of the aircraft in such a way as to avoid being struck by a missile and potentially killed or captured as an enemy POW. This video isn't going to go into the entire history of the infamous Package Q or Stroke 3 and Major Tulia himself. However, you can learn a ton about it over on the operations room. They did a great breakdown of the entire story. However, I did encounter a very similar scenario in DCS World. DCS World, of course, is certainly the most high-fidelity combat flight simulation available to the general public, and a couple of weeks ago I posted a clip where I dodged 6 missiles in 1 minute, much like Stroke 3 himself. Now, it's a video game. It is nothing like combat. I've experienced combat on the ground, and I would never equate this game to combat in the air, which is something that I have not experienced. But what I can say is there are some interesting similarities between the incident that you will learn about in this video and the incident experienced by Stroke 3 during Operation Desert Storm. So the boys and I were enjoying some DCS World Liberation Dynamic Campaign. In this operation, I was flying a high combat air patrol with some strike capability over an enemy airfield where we were really just mopping up after a series of successful operations. My buddies were in the AH-64, had quite a long flight, and were actually just trying to get to grips with the controls of the aircraft that they had just purchased not long ago. So it was really a training mission for them, and my job was to do what I can to protect them by neutralizing some of the remaining threats on the airfield and cleaning it up so that we could do a follow-on mission to capture it with an air assault. I flew overhead for quite a while looking for targets, finding a few and striking a few, and it was all quite casual. There wasn't any enemy air threats that we had encountered, and I hadn't encountered any really high threat surface-to-air threats. We knew that there were some AAA active in the area and potentially some surface-to-air missiles in the form of IR guided missiles, but no scary radar-guided surface-to-air missiles, and I didn't even see any living mounted surface-to-air threat. That is a missile system mounted to some sort of chassis. So I felt reasonably safe striking ground targets from about 10,000 to 13,000 feet above the ground, which would put me in a kind of an envelope where I should be safe from surface-to-air threats that are infrared guided, and that would keep me above AAA range as well. I still got hotspots on the airfield, guys. So there's definitely man pads and AAA still up. I'm not seeing any targets in vicinity the waypoints provided, but it may just be too far away. I'm Angels 20 off y'all's nose for 8 miles. There's enemy helos on the ramp at the target airfield. Those look juicy.
Those are going to get guns.
There's a taxiway. So there's at least 2 on the ramp, 2 on the taxiway, and then there's a static Su-25T on the ramp as well. Once you guys have eyes on the airfield, to the south of the main, perpendicular to it, there's a group of vehicles. Could be AAA. And then southwest of the main for 1 mile southwest of the main in the open is another group of vehicles, also potentially AAA or SHORAD. I'm too far away to really tell.
I see visual on you way up there at Angels 20.
Yeah, if you, I don't know if you can see data link. I've got my T-pod on one suspected SHORAD. So it's a total of 5 vehicles. The one in the center seems to have like a mast in the center, so I'm thinking potentially a radar. Oh, that thing's already smoked. I'm turning in on a Su-25T on the taxiway.
Roger.
Big swing
I think you just might have to do like, I think that's pairs that was picking up. The only thing you might have to learn have to do is like sensor
Rifle?
select. I don't think that can be done by clicking.
Shack 1 SU-25T on the ramp. Some more aircraft helos on the ramp. I'm looking for expensive shit to break. I haven't seen, I don't have PID on any counter air stuff. Bunch of trucks down there. Ton of good guns targets for you guys.
So after tagging a few targets, I was making one more pass to engage a BTR that I had identified in the open with a laser Maverick air-to-ground missile. And I deployed the missile, and things were looking pretty good, and that is when this happened.
Rifle BTR.
Roger. Coming up on targets now.
Oh my god, I'm fucking useless.
It's alright, just squawk emergency. They'll leave us alone.
I already am. That's off my helmet, but I can't see it. Why can't I see it?
See your missile.
Hey, Vince. I'm gonna put this bad boy down.
And Shack BTR.
And we're gonna work through this shit real quick, alright?
Missile on you, pairs. Coming in.
Shit.
Evade. 3
Flight
seconds to
control.
impact.
Flight
Evade, you're good.
control.
Brother, you just saved my life. Did you see that
Another
shit?
missile. Another missile
Yeah.
inbound.
Watching it right now.
Flight control.
Oh my god, look at that missile. Oh my god. Oh, good of me.
I hope it misses.
I'm engaging that Strela.
Please.
Altitude. Altitude.
Another one.
Flight control. Flight control.
Good luck.
Oh my god.
You're good. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Good, I got
Oh my god.
Alright, I got the pads on back here.
Triple
Flight
A.
control. Flight control.
Another missile out. Trying to get in range for this target.
Problem is I don't have a fucking trigger.
Oh my god. That was some of the wildest flying that I've ever done. Holy crap, bro. Dude. Visual you, that Strela's off your front right for half a
Yep.
mile. Be careful.
Yep. I've got a lock on it. I'm just trying to get this missile on it.
Jesus. There's AAA over the airfield as well, or at least HMG. I'm still getting nails.
I think it's worth breaking down some of this clip by looking at the TAC view file so we can see exactly what went wrong. And when you look at the TAC view file, you see that I let the MAV rip from range, and because I was using my laser targeting pod, that lightning pod, to designate the BTR, all my focus was on that, making sure that the Maverick hit its target. And because the profile of my weapons release put my nose down, I ended up losing altitude and sinking into the weapon engagement zone of an SA-19 that I had not yet detected. That SA-19 shoots infrared guided missiles, and as a result, I didn't have any indicator that they were there from my radar warning receiver. And in fact, as soon as my buddy called out that I was being engaged by a missile, my RWR did pop, but that was from a ZSU AAA site that was just beyond the SA-19. I immediately rolled the aircraft over because I was moving extremely slow despite being relatively high, and my instantaneous reaction was to just trade some altitude for speed and start maneuvering. While I rolled the aircraft over, my countermeasure deployment switch was set to bypass, so I immediately started dumping flares. I suspected that because I had no RWR indicators that I was being engaged by an infrared guided missile, which turned out to be true. And so I deployed those countermeasures and put my nose to the ground. I also activated my G limiter switch. I wasn't going particularly fast, and throughout this sequence, I didn't actually pull a ton of Gs, but instead I activated that switch so I could really throw the angle of attack of my aircraft. The consequence of that is because I was oversteering the aircraft, I was actually losing a lot of energy and having a tough time picking up speed despite the fact that my nose was towards the ground. As soon as I rolled the aircraft over, I was able to identify the relative launch site of that SA-19, and I tried to maintain visual contact with that throughout the rest of the engagement. Priority 1 was just getting the nose to the ground. I wanted to gain speed and then get as low as possible so I could block line of sight from that IR missile launcher so that he could no longer accurately engage me. As I'm trading altitude for speed and putting my nose on the ground, he does fire a couple more missiles. Those don't track me at all. They're either going for my countermeasures or it's just operator error on the ground where they never actually acquired me visually and had those missiles tracking my heat signature. After gaining some speed and leveling off the aircraft, I'm really trying to get out of the area, so I have the missile sight over my right shoulder, just trying to put space between me and it. That's when I see that next missile rip, and this one looked bad. I no longer had any altitude to trade for speeds, and all I could do was maneuver. I was still trying to deploy countermeasures, but at this point, I was actually out of countermeasures, and so I had dodged 3 missiles, luckily having those countermeasures to deploy, and now this 4th missile was coming for me and had my name on it. I could have chosen to continue straight. I could have pulled up. I could have banked left. I made the kind of dangerous decision to turn into the missile. I had some speed. I activated the G limiter, disengaged the G limiter once again, turned into the missile to really give it the hardest target to hit. Pulling into the missile in this case is going to force that missile to pull a high G maneuver in order to interdict me. And I ended up dodging it. It was about as close as it can get. And what I would say is DCS World doesn't properly model proximity fuses. And if it did, I would have certainly been killed during that moment of the engagement. And of course, as soon as I dodge that missile, another one is on the way. At this point, I'm already into a very loaded corkscrew turn. And instead of trying to change my rate of maneuver, I immediately go completely inverted, level off the wings with respect to the ground, despite being completely inverted, and then pull back, causing that missile to come right over the top of my belly. Again, just continuing to pull into the missile, maximize my Gs, and make that missile really work to try and hit me. That one is about as close as you can get. Again, if that proximity fuse had been working, I definitely would have gotten smoked in that case. But after that, I managed to get the nose back towards the ground, start turning away from the site once again. It actually puts me briefly in the weapon engagement zone from the ZSUs that had that RWR ping on me from earlier, dodge all the AAA, and then as I level off, I've lost visual contact with the SAM site. But my buddy once again calls out that another missile is in the air. I disengage the G limiter one more time, pull the aircraft hard left. I'm going very slow at this point. It puts a really extreme angle of attack on the aircraft. The mechanics are going to be very pissed about it, but it did cause that final missile to miss once again, certainly close enough again for that proximity fuse to catch me if it had been a real world sort of incident. So that is my stroke 3 experience. After that, I ended up climbing back to altitude, finding that SA-19. After searching for it pretty hard, there was 2 of them right next to each other, both engaging me at the same time. The first one we killed right away. The second one had to do some searching for, ended up detecting it in the wood line, in some vegetation, and putting a bomb on it.
How many missiles did I just dodge?
Like 5.
Oh, dude, you should have seen it from my POV. I wouldn't have even known I was getting shot at if you didn't call it. I didn't realize there was a Strela there. I'm going to fly at 10,000 feet and drop a bomb on it, though, if you don't find it. Woodline near the airfield or far away from the airfield?
I can't really tell right now. Off my tail about, I would say, a mile now.
Visual black smoke. I don't see him in the woodline, though. I see that black smoke north of that ramp. That's where my BTR was hit.
Okay, it's hard east.
From that BTR?
Yeah.
Visual.
All right, you want a grid?
Wait, what?
I can give you a bearing from the airfield too.
Yeah, I got him. I'm tracking a UAZ down there in vicinity of smoking SA-9. Is that accurate?
Yes, yeah, smoking SA-9 is damaged, and then there's a UAZ to its southwest.
Okay, I'm going to put a GBU-12 on the UAZ. It should finish off the SA-9 as well. I'm at Angels 12. I will be in from the south in 30 seconds.
You could unarm and then rearm. It should be to you.
Pickle GBU-12. And
Okay, so that's
5,
what I have set for
4, 3, 2, 1.
So that's the trigger button. And then
Shack, UAZ, and I believe that SA-9's destroyed as well.
I can give you coordinates
Ooh,
for...
secondaries on the UAZ. Holy smokes.
let's see, weapon. not sorry. TSD.
Oh, I think I got the SA9. Actually, he's like behind a tree. Is that a good description? Like in the veg?
Yes, yeah, that would be correct.
Okay, I'm coming around now.
So the only thing I can't figure out is how to get this thing to slew with my head.
It should be, there should be a thing under weapon where it says
Okay.
fixed. Yeah, ACQ is fixed.
So
I think.
fixed.
Take it off fixed.
Okay, so off fixed to what?
Whatever else there is, that's
There's-
not.
There's something. It looks like GHS, and then there's TADS. I would
Think
say
TADS?
maybe.
Pickle SA9.
No, it still looks like it's locked forward. I mean, maybe it's locked forward while I'm on the ground.
I mean, that is a real thing, so you can't put the gun into the ground.
Did
It's
you
a real thing.
did you override the gun? Where's the arm? Up here. Arm, good. Okay.
Shack SA9, let's go.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, I'd encourage you to like the video, comment down below, and subscribe for more content just like this. Oh, and one of the other comments that I was getting on the clips of this incident that I posted was that it looks real. You get the classic, like, oh my God, is this real or is this a game? Clearly it is a game, but it's a game that looks damn good. And the reason that it looks damn good is that DCS, despite being extremely resource intensive, is actually a very pretty game. And I'm able to run it well because I have a custom PC from metapcs.com. I actually have a partnership with metapcs.com. So if you guys are looking to build out a gangster gaming rig, hit them up. And then when you go to check out, enter code PAIRS to save a little bit of cash. And I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. I will see you guys in the next one.